let me just do a little frequently asked questions department. Although we're still in planning, and I mention this again and again, we're still in planning, but more and more the picture is becoming clearer. At this point, we envision having a nurse, yes. Guidance people, yes. Officer coverage, yes. Custodians, yes. Phys ed, yes. Lunch, yes. Now I say that because I know there are thoughts out there, they're going to order McDonald's or what? Because you've been in that kitchen, and it isn't that big. So, but we have the architects working on that, and Mr. Wayne Vespa is fabulous in food service. He's out of central office. This man is a magician. In fact, ask the kids at your schools, do they like the lunches? High school kids love them. And I'm speaking for most of them. I can't speak for all of them, but I can tell you the way they go into the lunchroom, they love it. I know Judy's daughters told her.
Fabulous.
Fabulous. So, it's a hot lunch. Now, the lunches won't be the variety that we have at the high school. And by the way, if you ever want to tour this school, just dial me up. You're probably thinking, well, geez, he's too busy. He's doing this and that. Well, we're all busy. But if I know ahead of time if you're interested in seeing this school during the daytime, when the kids are here, you want to see the kids here. Well, I say that because I'm proud of the school, and the teachers are proud of the school. Call me. I'll make time. I'll give you a half hour, maybe 40 minutes, and we'll walk around. You're probably thinking, how can a principal of a 2,000, 1,900 student school do that? Well, I'm doing it for a reason. We have a fabulous school system. We have an excellent high school. And the offerings we have here are number one. I've been at other high schools, so I have a comparison factor here. If you want a tour, gladly walk you around. We don't have many walls, but what goes on here is amazing. And so feel free to give me a dial. Lunch, they will have some offerings, be varied, but not as varied as what we have here at the high school. Technology, we're working on mobile carts, laptops and mobile carts, possibly four classes, probably 120, and don't hold me to that number, but we're going to carry the technology right through to the central school as well. Band, athletics, clubs, yes. Now, how will we do this? And that's a good question. We have options, and don't pin me down on this because we're still planning it. How can we maximize the time on learning and satisfy state requirements, and also get the kids, maximize the band participation? We don't want to drop that. Certainly athletics. Options are, we might have a period between 2 and 3. We could work something out. We have to work the busing out. One option now, here again, don't hold me to it, but these are options we're looking at. We have one system of delivery of students to the schools. We obviously, because of finances, can't have two systems and running two high schools. So one option would be possibly to drop off the 9th grade first in the morning, let's say 15 minutes early. 9th grade, central school, and I refer to it as central school, so from now on, you're going to hear us, you're going to hear the architects, superintendent, everyone will be referring to that school as central school. Drop off the 9th, take the rest of the kids, drop them off at the high school, buses are done. Central starts its schedule roughly maybe 15 minutes ahead. Here again, I'm just giving an example here. May or may not happen. End of the day, all we need is 10 buses to pick up these kids, not 20. 20 buses line up in our normal routine. 10 buses line up, central school, pick up the freshmen, take the band, all the kids for that matter, taking buses, athletics, anything, bring them to the high school, line up with the other 10 buses. Now we're ready for dismissal here. All the kids get off, they go to the band, athletics. So that's one avenue of doing it, saving money, but also giving the kids a chance, not pitting them one activity against another, which happens now. So there's a block of time between 10 of 2 and about 10 of 3. That's a magic hour that really isn't used much here. And if you watch kids in the afternoon, I walk around, I see kids waiting for practices to start, waiting for activities. They're reading, they're studying, which is fabulous. But it's sort of a dead hour. And it's not that they don't use it, it's just that we might be able to use that for the next 3 years as a transition, helping our transition piece. As for marching band, and let's see, not dry ink.
Oh, dirty hands.
Dirty hands. Okay. I talked to Mr. Walters, and I think Tom's here tonight somewhere. We have those opportunities. All the opportunities that kids have now, they'll have later. And those are usually at night and the weekend and so forth. But our goal is to make sure they don't lose one opportunity, clubs, etc. Start times, I mentioned, is still in discussion, and we're working on that. There's so many logistics here, and when I think of what the architects have to do in terms of planning for safety, they have companies planning for safety, for traffic patterns, you name it. If there's something that has to do with this transition and this plan, they have an outfit on it, and they will help us and design it. I'm not going to design the traffic pattern, trust me. I wouldn't want to, but they have experts. They have experts in security, designing security programs for both schools. So we have experts coming in, consultants working with our OPM, and we're in good hands, I can tell you that. What I'd like to do now, we have note takers here. We are really serious about this. We're sprinkled around, and we want your comments, and we do want the comments. Now let me mention this. We want comments from anyone and everyone, regardless of how corny you might think it is, or old-fashioned, or whatever. What we're going to do is take your comments, bring them back to our groups, and start to boil it down and see how it fits into our game plan, our philosophy for education, and so forth. So why don't we, how did you want to do it, Judy?
Any questions?
Okay.
We'll use the mic. Unless you're way back there, you can shout it out to me, and I can, we can...
Want to come down, or do you want me to?
No, I'm fine.
All right.
So I have a freshman who, I don't know how many classes say Spanish. There are some sophomores in her freshman Spanish class. What if I was on the other end and had a sophomore who needed to be at, say, Spanish 1 as a sophomore, and there is no lower level now in the high school?
Oh, there will be. We're going to make sure the kids have the levels they need. Now, for instance, in foreign language, I'm projecting out how I'm planning for foreign language at Central School right now is I just took a projection of numbers from this year. And the way I factored it out is we might have 8 Spanish classes, 2 French, and 2 Italian, if I base it on what we have now in our freshmen. So I'm just going to work it accordingly. If the kids need a certain level, we're going to do our best to get that level in.
I get going higher. I mean, if there's no freshmen here anymore, how do the existing students? Is it only the languages that have all 4 levels? No.
Every other.
Oh, like English, yes, is mixed.
If you have a sophomore in the high school, and they need to take, say, a Spanish level 1 course, well, they can't go down to the central building. Mr. Juker is stating that that level will be offered here at the high school for sophomores, juniors, absolutely.
Now, in some cases, I may have to have a teacher travel for 1 class. I may have to have an Italian teacher go up to the central school at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock to do that class. I have to maneuver that, and that's my job. But if your child has a need, we're going to do our darndest to satisfy it. Then that's a big statement on my end, because I don't know how the budget's going to work out, but we're going to work out logistics so we can cover the classes. But the freshmen will be doing their classes, except for certain special education classes that we need to provide services for here. Most of the freshmen will be over there. And we'll have special education as well. Next question, raise your hand high and we'll go. Yes, sir.
Is there going to be a school library at the central school?
The question is there going to be a school library at the central school?
There won't be a library as such, but here's what we're thinking of doing, and there's some options. Number 1, in that X block I mentioned, we're either going to work in here again. I don't want to carve this in stone. Either work a ferry system once or twice a week. We can get students right to the high school library for an hour, or bring some of the services and materials to them. I'm working right now with Maria Mastrocola on some options for that. But in terms of the limitations of the building, we obviously can't put the library we have in the high school. We can't really duplicate that. So I'd rather bring them here and set up a system of a trolley, if you will, Miss Jones' class, Mr. X, Mr. Y's class, this is your week to go to the library, set a bus system up, possibly bring them in. But that's just an option. But we have to look at that.